Let's recap day 1 and 2 of free agency frenzy. All right, Dolphin fans, welcome back to Phins Football Podcast. This is B Trill, and go ahead and give me some likes and some thumbs up. And if this is your first time, go ahead and subscribe. So we're gonna tap into day 1 and day 2, talk about some news, some things that the Miami Dolphins did. Again, if this is your first time, I want you to subscribe because I want to make sure you're getting the latest updates, news, predictions, rumors. When the games go on, we'll do some recaps. We'll do predictions during the week. But, of course, during the offseason, we're going to be talking free agency pickups, trades, mock drafts, and, of course, we'll go over some coverage when it is draft time. But big news, we are already into day 3 of free agency. I kind of wanted the dust to settle for day 1 and 2. Miami really hasn't done too much. They haven't done the cliche splash. I would say one of the best signings so far during the offseason that we did today. And it wasn't even a new face. Terrell Dotson re-signed for 2-year contract. I think we got him back for, it is $8.25 million. So we're looking at a little over $4 million a year roughly to bring back a good player. We picked him up last year off the Seattle Seahawks on waivers. He actually did pretty good filling in as a inside linebacker. So I'm going to go over all the moves that we've done so far, even some players that we brought back, but the big news is, who did we sign so far? So if you have been watching my videos, if you have been going over and supporting me, I do want to say thank you because this is a crucial time during the offseason of rebuilding our team and hopefully getting back to the playoffs. So always thank you for the support. Word of mouth is huge right now. Let everybody know that I am out there. So I'll go over some of the signings, and then we'll kind of dive in a little bit more. And then if we got time, I'll talk about what free agents are left back on the market. So right now, I'll give you a heads up. I'm on my lunch break. Again, I've been trying to get videos out to everybody. I just don't have the time at the moment. So right now, I am on my lunch break. I got roughly 15 minutes left. So we'll see how much we can squeeze in. I will be updating throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout off season on all Dolphin news. So make sure you subscribe and pay attention. Without further ado, who are the big signings? I'm actually going to rank them from top to bottom, kind of what I think our big signings were. So, I'm going to butcher his name. I'm going to go ahead and say it off right now. Fetu Melifonwu. So he is the safety from the Detroit Lions. So I think he was one of our biggest signings because of the need and I think the bargain. I think we got a very, 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 very good bargain price. Why? Because Chris Greer loves everybody coming off of injuries. So he did have some injuries early on in his career. Let me pull up some things off of ESPN.com. Let me just see here. Does he not even have him listed? I don't think he does. So he did have some injuries early on in his career, but what he did overall is he played phenomenal in the back end of the season. And, of course, whenever I want to go over everything, it disappears. So let me just pull up some stats for us. So, again, safety, we lost Javon Holland. He is no longer a Miami Dolphins. If anybody wants a jersey for sale, no, I'm just joking. I keep all my jerseys. I'm not one that throws them to the fire like most. But let's see. So Javon Holland, he got paid 45.3 mil over 3 years to go to the Giants, roughly over 15 mil. We got our safety, Melifon Wu. He is only getting paid, I believe, $4 million. So $4 million is not bad at all. It is again a spot that we need because Javon Holland has signed with the Giants as well as Poyer. He is now gone. So there's the chance that he could be a rotational player. But as of right now, he is looking at one of the starters to start in Miami at safety. So here we go. So again, he did have some injuries, said limited to 37 games in his first 4 years of his career. Placed on injured reserve twice in 2024. He only played 3 games last year. But when he is healthy, starter caliber player, and he is a former third-round pick, but we will be getting him at $4 million, which is a high reward, low risk. So, again, he could start. He could be in rotation. We don't know. Number 2, James Daniels. So, again, guard, offensive line, we need both. So this is a huge pickup because it is a huge need. Liam Eichenberg and Robert Jones, see ya. We got James Daniels. So, as always, he is coming off of injury. We're going to be paying him 24 over 3 mil. That's roughly about $8 million a year. Roughly it is exact. But again, we love injuries. He came off a Achilles, I want to say. Yes, torn Achilles last year. He only played 4 games last season. So, but he was ranked one of the best guards in the league. So let's see. He started 84 games in 7 seasons. This was the first time that he did go down. He is 27 years old. He ranked 17 out of 91 guards at 93.4 and 16 with a win block rate of 93.4, and he was 16 out of 87 guards with a run block rate at 72%. So again, when he's healthy, great player. Same thing with our safety. Not really a good signing. Well, actually, here, let me go to the third best. We got our third wide receiver, most likely. So we got Nick Westbrook Ikeen, I believe is how you say his last name. So he was on the Tennessee Titans. He is a big wide receiver. He's listed at 6'2", 6'3". So he's got a couple inches on Tyreek and Waddle. He is going to be our bigger body wide receiver. Last year, he had a career best 497 yards and 9 touchdowns. So that's great. Yeah, he's listed 6'2", 211, physical wideout. He was an undrafted free agent, but he did have some tight ends. So he might be our goal line wide receiver. He is our big body that we kind of been looking for with like Robbie Chosen that didn't kind of pan out. But, I mean, we really haven't had a big body wide receiver since Williams. So, but let's go ahead and on to our next signing. We have, I believe it's Ashton Davis out of the New York Jets. So he is safety. We did sign to another 1-year deal. He is most likely probably going to be rotational. He may or may not be the starter. Again, we do need 2 starters. He actually does have more career interceptions than Javon Holland. So he is... He started 22 games over 5 seasons, but has 8 interceptions. So that's huge. So he's a playmaker. He's a ball hawk. So who knows? Let's see if he does actually pan out to be one of our starters. If so, low risk. Very, very low risk. So those are some of our good signings. Again, we have been in the market for a backup QB. Tua cannot stay healthy. Who do we go and get? Zach Wilson. I am so tired of these washed up Jets quarterbacks coming to town. Of course, Zach Wilson, he was a very high quarterback. Didn't he go number 1 out of BYU? He was number 1, number 2, number 3. I know he was top 3 that draft. But anyways, high draft pick, just didn't pan out. Very inconsistent. I remember that one press conference, he gave up on his teammates or blamed his teammates. He's not a good locker room quarterback. He's not a good performance quarterback. He's not a good clutch quarterback. I guess he can be a backup quarterback. We'll see. I don't think we paid him that much. And one of my questionable signings that we have, Larry Barome from the Bears, tackle. They're saying he can be our swing tackle. I'm sorry. I'm going to miss Kendall Lamb. I've already seen 2 or 3 highlights where he barely gives any effort. He just lets the end run right by him. He looks bad. Of course, that's not every play, but we're trying to keep Tua healthy, and you're giving us players that have tape of just being the worst tackle I've ever seen. I didn't even see any effort. I saw that they backpedaled but kept their distance and just got blown by, and it doesn't look like a good starter. He's not going to be a starter. If he's a starter, we got problems. But I see Patrick Paul, if Teron Armstead does retire, starting at left tackle, and of course Austin Jackson over at right tackle. So he would be our swing tackle. I don't have faith in him. Hopefully he doesn't make the team after seeing what happens, or maybe he just does a lot better. Who knows? Again, I'm not the scout. I'm not the GM, but I see what I see. So overall, we picked up, 2 safeties, a third wide receiver, a good guard, a terrible swing tackle, and a backup quarterback. So we are still in need of a lot of players. We're filling a lot of needs, which is good. But right now, I think our biggest need is another guard. Possibly another running back. Of course, we don't have Mostert coming back. Who knows what's going on with Jeff Wilson. But right now, we got Devon Achane and Jalen Wright. So I think maybe another running back. There are some names out there. But some other people we did bring back, safety Elijah Campbell. So, again, we do have 3 safeties signed right now. We'll probably get some more camp bodies and more competitions. Hopefully, we draft somebody. We'll see. One of our first re-signings, though, early in the offseason was Matt Dickerson. So, again, he came over from the Ravens last year, kind of fouled over Anthony Reaver. We did bring back Quentin Bell, which is not bad. Again, he kind of has been a bubble roster bubble player. But he does okay. He's an outside linebacker, one of our pass rushers. So when we had some key injuries, he saw the field a little bit. I thought maybe more. But it was kind of him and Mo Kamara that we're going back and forth with. Who's not going to dress? So those are some of our re-signings. But again, I think the biggest moves is Terrell Dotson being re-signed. The safety from the Lions, I'm gonna learn his name, Afetu Melifonwu, I believe it is, and James Daniels, who is the guard from the Steelers. So, again, we do have some talent. Those are all players who could possibly be some big names that could step up, be Pro Bowlers. We'll see. Hopefully, Zach Wilson never touches the field and Tua stays healthy, and we go on to make the playoffs and possibly a Super Bowl. And wishful thinking, I know. But, again, very early on in the offseason, I can see a lot of restructures happening. So some players that could be restructured. We already saw Bradley Chubb get restructured. We already saw Teron Armstead taking the minimum. We can see a lot of different restructures and things happening. I believe Tua, Zach Sealer, and I think Phillips, if we extend him, there's a couple more moves that we can make to where we can actually gain a lot more cap and go out there and get a lot more big signings. But right now we're kind of mostly doing depth and hole filling. So it's always good to fill those holes. But sorry to go off track. But we have a lot of big names that are still out there. Some out there. Again, we do need another cornerback. Of course, we did get rid of Kendall Fuller. We don't know if Cam Smith will be a Cam Smith that we are looking for. But right now, Asante Samuel Jr. is still out there. Very young, but he kind of has some trouble with poor tackling and press coverage. Also, some big names out there. Tevin Jenkins. We do have, let's see, Kevin Zeitler. He is a guard, but he's up there in age, 35. Mekhi Beckham, who is the guard that played for the Eagles. I don't think he's gone anywhere yet. So that would be a huge signing. If we get him and Daniels, our offensive line would look real nice. But who knows? Maybe we draft a guard. Some other players out there. J.K. Dobbins. So we'll see if he gets picked up. I think Justin Simmons got picked up recently. I'm just going through NFL.com's top 100. Brandon Sheriff, he could be a stopgap or filler. Again, we re-signed Terrell Dotson. Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is still out there. Wow. I mean, tons of injuries, but could you imagine if we picked him up and got him with Devon Achane? That could be scary. But lots to look forward to. I'll keep everybody updated and recapped on these free agency frenzies. Who we're going to pick up next, I don't know. I know that we do need another cornerback, one for the outside. We do need another guard. We do need defensive ends as well as defensive tackles. So we got a lot more needs out there. Let's see what Miami does. Who knows? We could even see a big trade happen. I know the biggest news and question is around what happens with Tyreek Hill. Do we keep him? Do we keep the headache in the locker room for the skill play on the field? And again, we saw what happens when Tua goes down. He kind of disappeared. So lots and lots to think about. Again, money can move. Trades can happen. Players can get signed. But I'm always hoping for the best. I'm going to get ready to get this out there to you so that we can go over some stuff. Comment. Let me know who you think some good signings are that we did. What is the worst signing we did? And what are some players that you think we should keep an eye on and possibly sign? So again, I do want to say thank you for tuning in. As always, keep tuning in, keep watching, subscribe, like, let everybody know I'm out there. This is B Trill with Phins Football Podcast. As always, Fins up family, and let's go. Let's get a big signing. Let's make a splash. So day 3, we'll see what happens. This is the recap of day 1 and 2, and I'll see you soon.